Hello, my name is Belin Fieldson. I'm a Unity developer who builds VR, AR, and mixed reality applications. Today we're going to learn to build a game for Fulldomes. Fulldomes are projection domes where a single camera or a collection of cameras project on the inside of a half sphere. This creates a 3D effect which is capable of displaying 180 and 360 content in a really amazing way. So we really want to use it, and we want to build games using it. So we're going to be building a full dome game today using Unity. You'll need version 5.5.4 of Unity, which in personal or pro versions, to follow this tutorial. It's the latest version which supports the video output modes required by the various dome camera solutions, so don't try to go for a newer version just because you have it. Download version 5.5.4, and in order to follow this tutorial at least. Okay, so the very first thing you're going to want to do is create a new project in Unity. This is the new project that I created in Unity. I named it Dome Driving. You're going to need to import a collection of assets. So right click here in your project area and go to Import Package, and then in the assets here, we're going to need Environment, and then we're also going to need Vehicles. So say yes, import. It's going to take a minute. While you're doing all of this asset importing, you might want to look in the instructions and see that there are some downloads to do of DomeMaster tools and Syphon 2 and Syphon Unity package. You'll need all of those, so download them now. Let's go ahead and add another package, and that's going to be the vehicles. So now we have environment and vehicles packages. And again, this will take a minute to import. Depending on the speed of your computer, of course. Now, this tutorial is designed for a Mac. There's another library called Spout to use on PC to do the same thing that Syphon does. I'll build another tutorial about how to do this all using Spout. It's just a few small changes. Okay, so now we have our various assets. Let's go ahead and create a new scene. So we'll just right click there and go to Create, and then Scene. And this is going to be called Test. And let's open that scene by double clicking on it. And then we want to add a terrain to that scene. So we're going to go to 3D Object and then Terrain, and it adds a terrain. And click over to the inspector over here, and the inspector has information about the terrain. We are going to need to edit it. So take the camera out a little bit in your view, and you got a big sheet of terrain just like that. Okay, and if I find it's really easy to edit here in 3/4 view. For one thing, we're going to want this terrain to have like some mountains around the outside to kind of enclose everything. So take the brush size way up and leave the brush there, and opacity of 9. Yeah, and then yeah, just kind of run around here. And now this tool is kind of boring as far as terrain goes. You usually use it to make like smaller hills and stuff, not the mountains. I'm gonna go ahead and grab something that's a little harder and get some texture up on these mountains. Okay, they're looking mighty textured. Okay, so okay, and So we got some basic terrain here and mountains surrounding it. Let's go ahead and add some textures to this terrain to mess with. These textures are in this area over here. You click on the Edit Textures, Add Texture, and add a terrain to the texture where there's some built-in ones. Let's go grab grass, grass hill albedo, and we'll add that. Add texture, and we're gonna want sand albedo, great, and add texture, and let's grab mud, and go ahead, don't forget to set this one's normal because it'll make it look way better. And okay, so looks like our terrain captured everything there since we added that terrain first. So now we can move over to this terrain and put it onto the scene. Let's see, what am I doing wrong? Oh, opacity. Hooray! Okay, we got a big old area there of gack, and then we got some mud in the middle of it. All right, and turn that opacity down, like way down. Okay, so okay, sweet. So got this nice little terrain set up with this collection of textures, and now we can add some trees to it. So we'll edit the tree collection, add some trees. I'm going to go ahead and use the mobile tree. There's this broadleaf mobile right here. Yeah, it's really a lot faster than some of the other trees, which is a real issue. And yeah, then I'm just going to take and put trees all around. Woo! Look at all those trees. Okay. And put a couple over here, some over here, some more over there. Okay. Okay, so we got some trees randomly scattered throughout the scene. Let's add some details. We're going to edit those, add a grass texture. The grass texture we want is going to be grass frond 1 and add, and we're going to want to add another one. Just again, look at grass frond 2 albedo. Hooray. Ooh, okay. And now with frond 1 selected, we'll go ahead and draw some grass in. You can't really see the grass when you're drawing it here. It's just kind of adds a detail. And go ahead and do grass 2 also. Okay, so we got a bunch of grass, got a bunch of trees. Now we need a car for our racing game. So we're going to go into standard assets and open up the vehicles and car and prefabs. and car goes right into the scene. Let's go ahead and drag the car to a location. Hopefully you left it flat in the middle like I did. Makes it really a lot easier to place things if you have at least one area which is flat. So here's the car. It's now placed in the scene. And we're going to leave its settings the way that they are, except for car audio here. We're just going to uncheck car audio because it's got some problems finding the Dome camera. And now we're going to go ahead and delete the main camera. Don't need that in the scene. And we're going to add a new camera. That's going to be the DomeMaster one. So we're going to go ahead and import those packages now. Let's see here. I have where did I put all those? Unity Dome assets. Okay, so Unity Dome assets here is we're going to need the DomeMaster package first off. We'll bring that in, and we're going to custom package again. Here's Syphon. We really want Syphon. There's Syphon framework. Okay, here's the Unity package for Syphon. And we also want funnel. All the downloads for these are listed in this tutorial's text. So we've got DomeMaster, Syphon, and funnel added. And we need DomeMaster in the scene. So we'll grab the 180-degree camera components and drop them into the scene. And then take this 180-degree camera and put it as a child of the car. So it's going to move with the car. And let's go ahead and reset its position. And then this pivot right here gets set to 0, 5, and -8. Oh, that inspector. And then rotation here should be 45 degrees. And it starts to look like the kind of game that we're expecting to see, huh? Okay, and we want the car to be able to listen to audio. So let's add a component of audio listener, and because the Dome camera doesn't come with one built into it, and you want it to follow around wherever the car is, because that's our center of sound. We've attached the child, and then we're going to take this camera. Excuse me. So this camera has been attached. It's no problem at all. We're going to go into this camera here, and we're going to add funnel into it because it needs funnel to be able to send data out to the Dome machines. So now that it has funnel, we're going to change this up to 2048, leave off the anti-aliasing, and discard alpha, and preview on game view so that people can see what's going on with their game. Okay, so now that's everything. And so I'm going to save this scene and hit the play button. and it says no displays rendering, but that's really not true. Now, I had to disable the car audio because of that problem with the camera, but there are quick fixes for that too. Whoa, whoa! So yeah, there's no blacktop or anything in this demo. Just all of this surface to mess with. Pretty neat how this car works, isn't it? So yeah, that's the whole thing. We've built this game. Now, if we want to, we can broadcast it using simple Syphon. I'll go ahead and launch a simple client, and that's a client that comes with the Unity. And so there's the full size. In order to actually play, note that there's no way to do anything when I'm off of this. So we're going to want to change a couple of the build settings for ease there. So when you actually build it, your project, here's the build. Let's go ahead and add the open scene test, and then hit this build and run button. Oh, excuse me, not the build and run button. The player settings button. And under the player settings button, change everything so it's like all about you. Uncheck this default is full screen. I'll leave that just whichever way. Make sure you check run in background. And allow this display resolution dialog. It's really useful for people who are running domes. And allow the full screen switch. Make it visible in the background. And this is a pretty good idea also, so that you don't get more than one instance running in the thing. And yeah, I'm going to save it, and I'm going to build and run the project. And this is a Dome Racer. There we go. Okay. Build was successful. And as you can see, we get the resolution dialog at the beginning. I'm going to leave it on windowed and change it to 640 by 480. Leave it on fantastic, because we don't really need the game, because the output is primarily happening in this simple Syphon client. Yeah, and this way we get the full frame rate. And in this case, that's 32 frames per second. That's actually a lot better than I was expecting to get out of a bunch of speed tree assets. But yeah, now we've got a game for the Dome. Full-on driving game. And if you wanted to make the terrain more interesting, you totally could. You could also hook it into a network engine and make it for multiple players. Gosh, there's all sorts of things you can do with this. Anyway, enjoy and have fun with it. Please post anything that you manage to create with it. I would love to see what my tutorial has sparked. Yeah, enjoy your domes. Have a good one.